Welcome to Digital Learning, an initiative of Directorate of Collegiate of Education, Government of Karnataka. Eloquentia 3 is the title of the third semester BSc General English textbook prescribed under the Bengaluru City University State Education Policy. Tara, a play by Mahesh Dattani, is a component for 20 marks. I'm Nandana NG, Assistant Professor of English, Government First Grade College. The contents of this session: learning objectives, session outcomes, recapitulation of previous knowledge, introduction to the author, introduction to the play, purpose of the play, recapitulation, followed by a multiple choice question session in the end. The learning objectives of this session. The first learning objective is to recapitulate previous knowledge. Recapitulate means try to recollect. So through the course of this session, we'll try to recollect or remember what are the things that we are already familiar with regarding the themes, aims of the play. The second learning objective is to acquaint. Acquaint means familiarize with the play as a literary genre. The word genre will be a new word to most of the students who are listening to this. Genre means a very loose description would be type. For example, literature is a vast word, but literature encompasses many types of literature. For example, a poem, a short story, essay, novel, tragedy, etc. All these different components are known as genre. So here in the course of this session, we'll be acquainting ourselves with the play as a literary genre. The student will be encouraged to develop interest for reading a play. Introduction to the author is of utmost importance, later followed by introduction to the play. To comprehend the author's purpose of writing the play, to enlarge the imaginative power of the students. The session outcomes. At the end of the session, the student will be acquainted or familiarized with the play as a literary genre. He or she will be able to develop an interest for reading a play. For all we know, a few budding writers might be there in the student fraternity who are listening to this. They might even be encouraged enough to write their own play. Then we'll come to the most important components of the session: introduction to the author and background. The author of the play is the person with the pen who has crafted the art. And for us, we have to understand the artist. We have to introduce ourselves to the artist, his background, in what context he was writing, so that we'll better understand the play. So after the introduction to the author and the background, we'll be introduced to the play. And then next, we'll proceed to comprehend. Comprehend means to understand the author's purpose of writing a play. Any piece of art by the artist has a purpose. Whatever he or she has created, it could be an art, sculpture, anything for that matter, even a play. There will be a purpose. We need to understand that so that we'll get the entire meaning of the play. And finally, the session outcomes: to enlarge the imaginative power of the students, improve vocabulary, word power, and fortify linguistic skills. Recap of previous knowledge. Under the title of the play, there is a subtitle referred to as, in the textbook, it is referred to as pre-reading activity. Pre-reading activity is nothing but trying to recollect what all we are familiar with the previous knowledge about these concepts. So a few questions are provided here. The teacher will be expected to discuss these questions with the students, and these discussions will lead to the students expressing their point of views about what they know, and then in turn it will help them to understand the play further. The first question: what do you know about gender roles in Indian society? How do they affect the opportunities available to boys and girls? India is mainly a patriarchal society, and more or less gender roles are carved in stone. It is as if to say male is always given the utmost preference and females are always the secondary citizens. Men are supposed to do a few things, women are supposed to do the other things, and any blurring of lines is usually frowned upon. So gender roles in Indian society is more or less very rigid. Nowadays, due to progress and education, yes, we can see that the blurring of lines has occurred, but still, more or less, in the cities, we can see a bit of progress. But when you move towards the rural sectors, um, mostly gender roles are very clear. Definitely, opportunities available to girls and boys are affected. Boys are expected to work at any cost. Boys are never expected to, show their emotions, while girls are expected to listen. They are expected to follow. So anything out of the contrary, for example, a boy showing his emotion, and on the contrary, a girl expressing her opinion is never taken in the right stride, be it any family for that matter, a nuclear or a joint family. The next question: have you heard of or read any stories where family decisions had long term consequences on children's lives? Can you share an example? This question can be asked to the students, and yes, all of them will have one story or the other where the family would have, oppressed their decisions on the children, and where the children have, throughout their life, regretted going in the course of the way of life which their parents have selected. The next question: do you believe that physical disability should change the way people are treated? Why or why not? Well, India is mainly a patriarchal society, but we are also a very judgmental society. I think not only India, most of the people are judgmental all over the world. People with physical disabilities are always marginalized in the societies. It is as if their disability is something that they are held responsible for. They might be born with a disability, or it might be some other accident that they have endured later in their life. Whatever might be the physical disability, they are judged by that, and they are always kept outside the mainstream. They are not included in the primary circles, and all their opportunities are definitely reduced. It could be education, employment, and coming to matrimony, definitely they are never considered even the last choice for a marriage. The last question: what role do you think science and medical ethics play in determining family decisions? Can there be a conflict between scientific possibilities and moral choices? This is the most important question, because this is directly related to the plot or the main theme of the play. Science and medical ethics, this is something we consider out of the purview of the family. But then, when the family is facing a situation where science has a solution and medical ethics are twisted according to their convenience, does it determine the course of the family? Yes, that we need to see. Can there be a conflict between scientific possibilities and moral choices? Definitely. Scientific possibilities are immense, but then moral choices are something that we tend to do, and if we expect science to abide by our choices, it's definitely wrong. Let us try to define what is a play. A play is a form of dramatic literature performed on stage, typically involving scripted dialogue and actions by characters. It unfolds in acts and scenes driven by a plot that explores various themes or emotions. Plays often employ theatrical elements like set design, lighting, and sound to enhance the narrative. Theatrical productions can range from comedies to tragedies, encouraging audience engagement and emotional connection. The collaborative efforts of playwrights, directors, actors, and other creative contributors bring the script to life, delivering a unique and impactful live performance. If any of you have noticed, for the PPT, I have used a play, the theme that I have used is of that of a theater. As Tara is a play that is going to be discussed in more than 6 to 7 sessions, I thought that by using this background, I'll be able to make a better statement. So this we can see are two images. These are the original cover pages of the play Tara by Mahesh Dattani. In the first image, we can see that there are two figures that can be seen here. both with their backs turned towards the audience. This shows how the primary characters are involved in their own problems and they're unable to face the society. So it says Mahesh Dattani's Tara, a stage playing two acts. And then in this cover page, we can see Tara, a stage playing two acts, and then a star. Tara in Hindi means a star. In Kannada also, Tara again means a star. So one of the primary characters, in fact, the primary character is Tara here in the play. Uh, we'll we'll see the symbolism regarding why Tara is referred to as a star. Um, the curtains will close now. Okay. Now we shall proceed to the introduction of author. In the image here, we can see Mahesh Dattani. So let us introduce ourselves to the author. Born on August 7, 1958 in Bangalore, India, he is a renowned playwright, stage director, screenwriter, and actor. Uh, Play is the plays, most of the plays written by Mahesh Dattani are enacted on the stage. And most of his plays are really, they have various diverse topics. We'll get to know him further in the next slides. He is one of the first English language playwrights in India to be awarded the Sahitya Academy Award in 1998. He is also recognized as a voice of contemporary urban India. Through the course of his plays, he explores themes of gender, identity, sexuality, and social injustice. His career highlights: he has trained in dance and theatre before turning to playwriting. He is also the founder of Playpen, a Bangalore-based theatre group. Most of his notable plays are Final Solutions, Dance Like a Man, Bravely Fought the Queen, Tara, etc. He has also worked in film and radio adaptations of his plays. His plays are studied in universities across India and abroad. That's it. That itself shows, this last point shows regarding the relevance of his place in modern society. Now, coming to his writing style, he uses simple and powerful English which is accessible to Indian audiences. And in his play, we can see a blend of realism with theatrical experimentation. And in his play, the subject matter usually focuses on everyday life, middle class struggles, and hidden conflicts. And through the course of his play, he successfully has created strong, layered characters, especially women. He also uses stagecraft and dialogues to reveal the inner tensions prevalent in the modern Indian families. The themes in his work: the primary themes that are visible in his plays are: first one, gender inequality and patriarchy, identity and marginalization in modern society, family conflicts and generational gaps, taboos surrounding sexuality and disability. Taboo means a few customs which forbid us to do something. Constant tension between tradition and modernity. In fact, in Tara, we can see all these themes and much more. Mahesh Dattani's legacy: pioneer of modern Indian English drama. He is the first playwright to bring LGBTQ plus issues. I hope the student fraternity is familiar with this acronym. L stands for lesbian, G stands for gay, B stands for bisexual, T stands for transgender, Q stands for queer, and the plus symbol indicates many more to be added in the future. So all these issues are covered in his plays, and he tries to bring these issues to mainstream Indian stage. His plays break silence on topics considered uncomfortable. In Indian society, most of the topics are uncomfortable. Nobody has to talk about anything apart from the daily, the regular things like did you have your food, etc. Continues to inspire young dramatists and directors. Tara remains one of his most taught and performed plays. The major themes prevalent in his plays: gender discrimination in Indian families, patriarchy and preference for male children, disability and marginalization in society, identity crisis and sibling bond, regret and guilt in parental decisions. By looking at the themes given here, we can see that Mahesh Dattani seems to have hit the jackpot. He has clearly understood the dynamics of the modern Indian family, and all the themes that are given here are more or less visible in most of the families. Now, let us introduce ourselves to the play. Tara was first performed in 1990s. It was published in 1995, but the first performance of Tara was in 1995. It is a two-act play focusing on conjoined twins Tara and Chandan. Conjoined means they are twins, but their bodies are fused at some part. They are born together, and one is Tara and the other is Chandan. So we are introduced to the two primary characters. In fact, the play is named after Tara. The entire play is set in contemporary Bangalore, India, and later the action moves to Mumbai. In the play, we can see a mix of realism with emotional intensity. Through the course of the play, Mahesh Dattani raises questions of gender bias, family choices, and fate. Let us have a small introduction to the characters of the play. The primary character of the protagonist is Tara, who is physically disabled but very strong, witty, and intelligent. Then we move to her twin, Chandan, Tara's twin brother, who is very sensitive and guilty of privilege. And what is that guilt and privilege that we'll see? Bharati, the mother, emotionally torn and guilty of her choice. Patel, the father, is a typical example of a practical and a patriarchal father or the head of the family. Dr. Tucker, the surgeon, whose decision reflects social bias. Significance of Tara. Any play, as I told you, has a message to convey. So, what is the importance or significance of Tara? It is a poignant critique of gender inequality in India. Tara challenges societal preference for sons over daughters. It also highlights silenced voices of women and the disabled. The play can also be considered a symbol of shared identity and broken destiny. It is considered a milestone in Indian feminist theatre. In contemporary times, what is the significance of Tara? We can see that Tara was composed in sometime 1990s. It was published in 1995. Technically, more than 30 years have elapsed since the play has been published. Is there any relevance of the play? Definitely. In fact, as we go through the detailed discussion of the play, we'll see that most of the problems have remained the same. In fact, the attitudes in the society have also remained the same. So, Tara in contemporary times, it exposes gender discrimination that still persists in many families and societies. The play highlights marginalization of disabled individuals, urging inclusivity and empathy. The play also attempts to question patriarchal decision making that privileges sons over daughters. It resonates with modern audiences by addressing the themes of identity, guilt, and injustice. It serves as a timeless critique of societal norms and a call for equality and human dignity. A few interesting facts about Tara. Published in 1995, a landmark in Indian English drama, inspired by real life cases of conjoined twins. It's a two-act play with a non-linear narrative. I'll be going in detail about the non-linear narrative in the future sessions. Tara symbolizes silenced female voices. It has been staged globally at universities and festivals all over the world. It highlights urban Indian family dynamics and hidden biases. The purpose of writing Tara. Definitely, it is to highlight gender discrimination in Indian society. Mahesh Dattani also tries to explore identity, sibling bonds, and family choice. Mahesh Dattani also tries to question patriarchal norms and biases. Through the course of this play, he tries to raise awareness about disability and ethics, encourage social reflection through theatre. This image, uh, I hope It represents the play Tara. We can see Tara, the primary character or the protagonist, being a victim of all the factors. We can see how her parents, the decision they made, how it influenced her life, and then the patriarchal bias in society. All these factors made sure that Tara was marginalized for no fault of hers. So let us try to recapitulate what we discussed through the course of this session. Initially, we had a recapitulation of previous knowledge. Later, we introduced ourselves to the author, Mahesh Dattani. Introduction to the play followed by the purpose of the author. And now, finally, we have come to this session, the recapitulation. Now, let us have a small multiple choice question to assess what are the facts that we have discussed in this session. The first question, Mahesh Dattani became the first ever English language playwright in India to receive which prestigious award? The options are Gnanapith Award, Sahitya Academy Award, Padma Shri Booker Prize. And the answer is B, Sahitya Academy Award. Second question, which of the following is not a play written by Mahesh Dattani? The options provided are Dance Like a Man, Final Solutions, Bravely Fought the Queen, or option D, Hayavadana. The answer is option D, Hayavadana. Hayavadana is written by Girish Karnad, while all the remaining three are composed by Mahesh Dattani. In Tara, what central issue does the play primarily critic? Critic is usually a negative criticism. So, what are the themes that can be seen as discussed? Caste discrimination, gender inequality and patriarchy, political corruption, or generational gap in values. The central issue of the play Tara is the answer option B, gender inequality and patriarchy. The fourth question, which character in Tara is often seen as a symbol of silenced female voices in patriarchal society? Options provided are option A, Bharti, option B, Tara, option C, Patel, option D, Chandan. And the answer is option B, Tara, our protagonist. The fifth question, what narrative technique does Dattani use in Tara to blend past and the present? The options provided are stream of consciousness, non-linear storytelling, flash fiction style, first person diary narration. We discussed this in the introduction to author. The answer is option B, non-linear storytelling. References used for this session. Thank you.